'Cause I'm a voodoo child. God knows I'm a voodoo child. 'Cause I'm a voodoo child.
Hello, hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got back from the theaters after seeing The Magnificent Seven. This is a 2016 film that is indeed a remake to the 1960 film that I've never seen, so I'm not going into this with any prejudice or anything like that. I was actually really looking forward to this movie. I was. I don't know if it's because of the director, Anton Fuqua, or some of the actors in here, the star power, or just the fact that tomorrow is my birthday and I really wanted to see a kick-ass Western movie just to get excited about. The plot is at the very, very beginning we meet this character, Emma Cullen, and her husband, played by Matt Bomer. They live in this small town, this village, where they own their own land, they're farmers, and until this villain, Bartholomew Bogue, shows up. If you couldn't tell he was a villain, listen to his name. He shows up and he threatens the lives of all of these people, basically saying, if you don't sell me your land for really cheap, I'm gonna kill you. So he does kill some of these people, and one of those people includes Matt Bomer, her husband. So she now wants revenge, or justice, however you want to look at it. She hires these 7 renegades, these 7 guys who could use the money, but they also have some skills. Some skills that if they could work together, they could hopefully take the fight to this guy and his army and take this town back and protect these people. Now, what I thought of The Magnificent Seven was the movie was just okay. Just okay. I didn't love it. I wanted to love it, but I couldn't for a couple of reasons. But first, let me talk about some of these actors. The actress, Haley Bennett, who plays Emma Cullen, she's the wife at the beginning of the movie. I really liked her. I did. Not just because I felt for her, to what happened to her husband and her land and all of that. Sure, you feel for her, but when it comes down for her to hire the guys, you think that's going to be really it for her. She's going to hire them, and then she'll be off on her merry way. But she wants to stick around. She wants to get into the fight. There's so many times where she's saying, hey, let me get in on this. Let me take care of myself. Let me shoot a gun. Let me do this. And at first they're like, no, you're a woman. We don't really need that or want you to get hurt. But she does get in there. She does take care of herself. She's capable. And I appreciated having a female character be like that. But let me talk about some of the main stars, the guys that you're really looking for. Like Denzel Washington. I really like Denzel Washington here. And what a surprise, right? Let's be honest. When was the last time Denzel gave a bad performance? Whether you like the movies or not, he's always on point. And I love that he's just a badass here. He's a guy who is technically a bounty hunter. You know, he doesn't want to be called that. He's kind of like a cowboy vigilante who gets paid to do this. He wants to go after these bad people who are doing these bad things. And you can't help but not like that about him. But he is the leader. He's the one who goes off and gets this team together, these people together. And the first person he goes after is Chris Pratt, who plays Josh Faraday. And Chris Pratt, what do you think of when you think of Chris Pratt, right? You think of funny. And he is funny in this movie. But I think I was expecting even more funny out of him here, because that's really what you get from him. But he has his moments of being funny, but he also has some other layers to him. There's moments where you almost get a sense that maybe he's not the greatest guy in the world, that he's willing to do some things that he might not be proud of, but he'll kill people if he has to, or maybe if he wants to. So I like that. I like those layers to his character, really interesting. You have Ethan Hawke. Now this is where I think the movie starts to get lower for me. Ethan Hawke is a good actor. I'm fine with him. He plays Goodnight, who is this war hero of sorts. He's been through a lot. He's going through PTSD, and I didn't really, like, I get it. I get a guy going through this, but I felt like watching it that they were just doing this just to give the character something to do. or just to have a certain personality for him to connect to. Because otherwise, I just didn't really care about it. I didn't really care about him not wanting to really kill anybody or shoot anything. I just felt like it was all unnecessary. I did like Lee Byung-hun, though, who played his friend, Billy Rocks, who was not afraid to get in there. He didn't really use a gun a whole lot. He was mostly about his knives and just going around cutting people left and right, showing off his skills. And he was the one Asian cowboy. I love the diversity in the cast. I appreciated that. And you also have Manuel Garcia Rulfo as Vasquez. I like the diversity. He's the Mexican cowboy here, but I didn't connect to his character. There wasn't really anything for him to do here, or like I never got a sense of who this guy was, so I didn't really care about him. I also didn't care about the Native American cowboy, Red Harvest, played by Martin Sensmere. Again, he was just here. He has some cool moments with his bow and arrows, but I wish I connected to more of these characters so that it truly, I was truly invested in most of it. Vincent D'Onofrio plays Jack Horn, who is a great actor, Vincent D'Onofrio. I love seeing him pop up and stuff because he's always different every time you see him. And he was fine here, but I didn't love his voice. He had this high-pitched voice that I could never really get into. Kind of always took me out every time he talked. Now, the beginning, I liked the setup. I liked even the formation of these characters meeting each other, or like there was moments, but in the middle of the movie, it started to slow down. And I'll be honest, it got kind of boring. I was sitting there and I was finding it hard to still care about what this was. It was like we had such a big threat, and we were seeing so little of the villain that I guess I was almost forgetting how big the threat was. Peter Skarsgård plays Bartholomew, like I said, what a name, and he's fine, but I never bought him as the main villain. Looking at him, he didn't look like a threatening guy. I almost couldn't believe that he was the guy who rounded up this army, got all these people to take orders from him, and had people like cowering in front of him, quivering, scared of him. I never bought it. I never did. But I will say, as much negative things that I was feeling through some of it, the end battle is great. It is. Once that end battle starts, it doesn't stop. There's tons of gunfire, tons of action, tons of intensity. All of that worked at the end of the movie. It did. It almost completely saves it. It does. But I can't just forgive, or I can't forgive anything that I was feeling in the middle. I was really bored. I wanted to give this like a full price going in. I was hoping it was going to be that level of a movie. I'm leaning towards a rental, but I'm gonna give it a low matinee, the lowest of the low matinees. But to be honest, you probably don't need to see this in the theater, really at all. You could rent it at home, and maybe you'll enjoy it more that way. I thought it was fine, but just a little disappointing in some aspects. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you saw The Magnificent Seven. What did you think of it? Did you like it more than I did? Am I being too harsh, or did you hate it? Also, if you saw the original, let me know in the comments what the differences are. Was the original better? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!